FIRELife.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Coach Angel here. Today we're going to continue to talk about FIRELife Financial, and basically what we're going to get into is who we are and what we believe. So thank you very much for joining us. Hopefully you've been sticking around watching our videos. And so again, we're going to get into some of this stuff, and one of the things that I really want to talk about is our core tenets, our core beliefs, who we are, what we believe, what we teach, and what we're really all about at our core. So you're going to hear me say the word core a lot because I think it's fundamental for you to understand who you're dealing with, who you're talking to, kind of what our overall global strategy is. And we're going to really dive into some specific items, okay? And really kind of help you see the broader picture of what we offer. It's not just about debt management and personal finance things. That is a lot of what we start with. That's kind of the start of what we're doing. But you can see how it feeds into the rest of the picture, the rest of the puzzle, right? So this is what we're talking about here. So I drew this little diagram here so you guys can kind of see. We have our tri-point, the tri-fecta, all right? And again, this is our core tenets for FIRELife Financial. Starts with personal finance. And then it leads into the FIRELife movement, kind of where we want everyone to get to. And when you're ready to kind of take the next step, we teach you also how to become an entrepreneur. We teach entrepreneurship. And I'll get into kind of what all that means. So one of the first things that we start with is financial control. Taking control of your finances, taking control of your personal finances, taking control of your money life, right? That is the start. You have to understand how money works. You have to understand how to make it, how to keep it safe, how to keep it growing. And it starts with you yourself and taking control of you and your spending habits and your management, your ability to manage money. Because if you can't manage your money, nothing else works. You're not going to get to a fire life. You're not going to be able to run a business and be an entrepreneur, and you're always going to struggle. So we start there. We have to start there, because if you can get control of your spending habits and your debt, most importantly, then everything else starts to fall into line after that. So that's where we start. So we deal with personal finance. The biggest thing what we do is debt management, because again, that's where a lot of people are when they first come to us. That's where we start, and then we get into some of the other things. We definitely teach people about insurance. You have to protect your family. You have to protect yourself. You have to protect your business. You have to protect your home, your assets. Especially if you're married, you have kids. They depend on your income. Insurance is the start. You have to understand how insurance works, how to leverage it, how protect what you have. Okay, and if you have a lot, you also have to be thinking about not just life insurance and things like that, but liability insurance, right? Big umbrella policies that can cover you in case of an accident, something happens, you're a business owner. You want to be thinking about those kinds of things, right? You want to think about health insurance, making sure your family's protected in that sense, or secure. But it's a big component, and you have to understand that is what the wealthy people do. Right? And some of us are a lot better off than others, and we've learned the power of insurance, how to really leverage it, and how to help it, use it to, fund your infinite banking, or become your own bank, those kind of things with high cash value dividend paying life insurance, or just long-term savings for supplementing your retirement, right? And more importantly, just to protect your family, protect those that are dependent on you and your income. If the worst happens, right? What if you die? So you got to be thinking about that stuff. So we talk about that, and we also focus on saving. You have to start saving. That is a core tenet of what we teach people. Even before you start investing, right? You definitely want to make sure that it's growing a little bit. Before you really start getting into investing, you better have a good little savings, a little nest egg, your emergency fund for emergencies, for a rainy day when something bad happens, the unexpected happens, right? It's just fundamental to what we do. And if you want to get into working with us in this area, we can definitely lead you in the right direction. But if you can't focus on the fundamentals it makes it a lot harder for you to really succeed, because we can tell you why you need to do what you need to do. We can educate you, to help you see the picture, the big picture. But it's going to be up to you. It's going to be up to you. You're the one that is making the decisions. It's your money. And so hopefully you follow what we teach you, because that'll set you up with a good foundation, right, for you to succeed long term. So personal finance, that's where we start. And, we can deal with you individually one-on-one. If you're married, we prefer to do it with you and your spouse. It's important. You both have to be on the same page. I mean, I've said this before. I'll say it again. The number one, I think, cause of divorce is financial stress, financial situations. So you working together with your spouse is critically important. And whatever debt management solution or tool or strategy that you decide to implement, you both need to be on board. Because if one of you is all about getting out of debt and wants to take control, but the other one's still just spending like crazy, you're going to continue to have problems. You're never going to be able to make the headway that you need to do, that you need to make. So you guys have to be on board together. You have to be on board together. And I encourage you, if your spouse is not on board with your plans, hopefully you're seeking some kind of counseling, some kind of something. And, we do with that with our life coaching, the Enlightened Coach program. We can help you get into some of that stuff, counseling and things like that. But, seek help, seek some expertise that can help you guys overcome whatever challenges that you have. But again, it starts with taking control, financial control of your personal finances. Okay. And then the next big point of tenet that we believe in, right, is teaching people all about FIRE. Financial independence, so you can retire early. So you don't have to work if you don't want to, right? I have a video about that. You can get into what the FIRE movement's all about. But this is where we really kind of get strategic, right? What does retirement look like for you, right? Financial planning. What is it that you need to have? What are things that you need to establish? Who do you need to take care of? Or what are your goals? What is it that you want to accomplish in your life, in your financial life? We help you really kind of structure that and plan for that. And then we get into, as part of FIRE, like investing, your initial, dipping your toe, so to speak, into investing. A lot of times, real estate is probably one of the biggest things that we try to focus on, as well as other investments and things like that. But real estate, having real estate is just, I think, really important. Whether you own your own home, you don't want to have a mortgage payment, you want to pay that off, you want to own that asset outright. And for a lot of folks, most Americans, that is their biggest investment, is their home. So we want to try to help you pay that off as quickly as possible. If you need to leverage debt where you need to, but we try to limit that. And you have to be, unless you can get full control of your finances, we don't want you to start getting into trying to leverage debt and trying to do what, some of these other big, real estate gurus teach, like, Uncle G, Grant Cardone and things like that. And he's way over leveraged in my opinion, but hey, to each his own. But if you have the self-control and the discipline to understand how money works and where things are, how much you owe, where the money's coming in, where the money's going out, you make sure you have good enough cash flow, then it can be successful. But you have to be careful. It's a big risk. You're taking on a lot of risk if you start to leverage yourself and leverage debt and overextend yourself. Because if we come into another financial crisis, right? I mean, like right now we're dealing with one with the pandemic, right? And thank God the market hasn't fully crashed, or the real estate market, I should say, hasn't fully crashed or bottomed out or anything like that. So in fact, it's been growing, but there is a bit of a bubble. I've been in real estate for 18 years now, so there's definitely some writing on the wall. And you guys better be careful if you're trying to over leverage yourself with real estate. You don't know where the market's going to go. We're definitely in a bubble, and there's definitely going to be a correction. Hopefully it won't be as bad as 2008, as the mortgage meltdown, but it's a risk. It's a risk that you're taking if you're, putting too much out there. All right, so FIRE, we teach all about FIRE, right? Learning how to save as much as possible, which is the key thing, investing and making sure, hopefully you get to the point where your investments are making more than your expenses. And that's really when you're on FIRE and living FIRE, right? And again, if you watch the FIRE video, what FIRE is all about, right? Whether you want to get to just traditional FIRE, fat FIRE, lean FIRE, whatever that is for you, we help you plan all that out, and we help you try to set up strategies that'll help you succeed in that. And then obviously if you want to get to FIRE faster, you need to make more income. Most of the time that is the number one thing. you need obviously cutting down your expenses where, financial control comes into play, but it's increasing your income. So how can you do that? You got to start some sort of side hustle, start your own business in some way, shape, or form. And this is where entrepreneurship comes into play. That's a big piece of what we talk about. I think one of the biggest failures of America right now is the lack of financial literacy. I mean, basic financial principles is just not being taught. It's not proliferating out there. It's definitely not in our education system. I think that's one of the biggest gaps that we have right now, other than leadership. So that's one of the things that we teach here. One of the things that we focus on, that's our core values, is financial literacy, right? Teaching that to everyone that we can. This is why we're putting out this content. We want to add value. We want you to be thinking strategically, thinking long term, educating yourself about finances, how money works, how to grow it, how to keep it growing, how to keep it safe. And so entrepreneurship is a big piece of what we do. So we offer opportunities for people to make money. And we've partnered with the company, America's Financial Group. You'll be hearing a lot more about them. I'm going to do a video all about America's Financial Group. But we think, some companies focus on just one piece. They might focus on just insurance or just real estate or just, financial advising. We think that you have to have the whole picture. You have to understand the entire scope of how money works, right? And how it all functions together. So we give you opportunities to build a business. You can become an insurance agent or broker. You can become a real estate agent, financial advisor. So we have a system in place to help you build out your own business. And for many of you, I don't know if you're familiar with Robert Kiyosaki and the cash flow quadrant, but he talks about there's two sides, right? You have employees, you have self-employed people, right? They're on this side of the fence. There's a gap in between the business owner and the investor. Now, employees and self-employed, all you're doing is you're just trading your time for money. You're collecting a paycheck, right? You're on the 40-40 plan, 40-40-40 plan, right? You work 40 hours a week for 40 years, and maybe you get 40% of the pay in retirement, right? On this side, you have the entrepreneur side. Business owners who set up a system that works for them, where they could go on vacation for a month, and their business is still running, it's still growing, and they're still collecting a paycheck. I could go sit in Hawaii, and because I have a system in place, I'm going to still make money. And obviously the investor. Hopefully most of us want to get there, right? That's what kind of FIRE is all about, where you're investing in things and your money is making you money, right? And you're living fat and happy and everything's great. And I don't mean fat physically, but what I'm talking about. Fat FIRE, right? So we give you opportunities to become an entrepreneur. And, right now we're expanding and we're growing. We're actually looking for people that want to take out. So I'm going to do a whole video about our entrepreneurship and the ability for you to partner with us. But on the other side, one of the things that we also work with America's Financial Group is investing. So for you investors out there who are sitting on a little bit of money, or you need somewhere to park your money or do something and have it grow, we have a lot of opportunities, with some venture capital stuff, angel investing, and in securities. So whatever, your forte is, whatever it is that you want to do, whatever your objectives are, I'm going to do a whole video about America's Financial Group, as I said. And, I'm not going to get into the numbers, but, they have guaranteed returns. We have systems in place that it's very predictable. And that's what you want. You want predictability. You want to know, hey, my money's going to gross me or net me X amount percentage every year. So you want to have that, and you want to have that peace of mind that your money is working for you and your money's safe, right? Not tied to the market if you don't want it to be, or if you do want that, you want to take on that risk, you can. But we have opportunities there. So America's Financial Group, yeah. And I'm going to probably bring on the CEO onto the channel. We'll probably interview him. His name is Rudy, and he's a great guy. You see how intelligent he is. He's young entrepreneur. He's made a good impact already on his life and his community and what he's doing. And he has big dreams, big visions, just like me. So we've partnered together, and we have big visions. We're gonna share all about that. We're gonna tell you kind of what we're planning on doing. But right now, just a little teaser about what's coming up. So this is FIRELife Financial. This is what we're all about. Personal finance, the FIRE movement, entrepreneurship, right? Take control of your finances, because ultimately it needs to lead to this: financial freedom. And what does financial freedom mean to you? Maybe that's you being able to provide the life for your family that you never had. Maybe it's, maybe buying your mom a house. right? Or buying her that nice car, right? Or maybe you have other family that could use some help, or maybe you just want to, maybe your family's taken care of. Maybe you want to give, maybe you want to give back to the world of what you've received, and you want to help people. You want to live a life of service, right? And if you have the financial means to do so, that's an amazing opportunity that you have to be a blessing. And that's what I'm all about. That's why I live a life of service. That's why I keep this up here, to remind myself that this is what it's all about for me. These are my long-term visions, that's my goals, where I want to get to. So whatever that is for you, whatever financial freedom is for you, what that means, I want to help you get there. And FireLife Financial is committed to do so. So this is our core tenets. This is who we are. Again, my name is Coach Angel. If you need help, reach out. Check the description below. There's some links, more information, how to get to us. I also have a link to, again, my story and the Business Story podcast that I was on recently. So you get to know who I am. And we'll have other links down below so you can get a hold of us. So reach out. I really thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel. And like this video. Share it with someone that you know. Smash on that bell so you can get the notifications whenever we get new content out. And there's going to be a lot more content coming out. So appreciate you all. God bless you. Thank you very much for joining us.